What's up, you guys? It's your boy AOT Time West, man. I'm back at it again with another video, man. And today I want to talk about Dabo Swinney and the success he has built at Clemson and how he has sustained that success at Clemson. And I want to talk about that today in our video because I think it's very important. I think it's actually pretty dope to see how he's built up Clemson. So Dabo Swinney was born in 1969, November 20th. He was born in Pelham, Alabama, so he's an Alabama guy. Played as a walk-on at Alabama. In 1990, he walked onto the team. He played on there for 2 years. Played from 19 to 1992. And then he actually coached at Alabama as a GA assistant, turned into be a wide receiver, tight end coach. So he coached at Bama on the assistantship from 1993 to 03. In 03, Tommy Bowden gave Dabo a call. He said, yo, I need you, come on up. And he came on to Clemson as a wide receivers coach and a head recruiter. Dabo was very good at recruiting. He was starting to gain in really big talent at Clemson. He was starting to build good relationships with the coaches around the country and around that region. And he was really starting to do a good job at it. Now, in the 07 year, 08 year, Tommy Bowden quit in the middle of the year. 6 games into the season, he quit. And they actually named Dabo Swinney the interim coach. Now, a lot of people kind of raised the eyebrow at that because they thought, well, maybe Coach Scott can do it. Coach Scott was a big-time offensive coordinator for the Clemson Tigers. And if you don't know, Jeff Scott is his son that's now a part of the Clemson Tiger program as well. And in that 08 season, Dabo only coached for 7 games, and he went 4-3. Got them to 7-6 on the year. They ended up losing in the Gator Bowl, but you know what? He beat South Carolina that year. So that was kind of like a big deal for the Clemson Tigers. Now, stepping into that 09 year, CJ Spiller was still on the team. This team was very talented, very well kept up, and they were expecting to be kind of like a 10-win team that year. That year, Dabo Swinney took them to go 9-5, and they beat Kentucky in the Music City Bowl. In the Music City Bowl, they went on and faced a pretty good Kentucky team that year. Now, in that 2010 year, that 2010 year is where you really start to see things change, and you really start to see the growth of the program. Now, in that 2010 season is where freshman quarterback Tajh Boyd was signed. Now, that is a very vital person in this piece. Tajh Boyd, just keep that name in mind because he kind of starts the rebuild for the Clemson Tigers. So in that 2010 season, they go 6-7, a little bit of a down struggle just between the transition of Tommy Bowden's players leaving and Dabo Swinney's players coming in. So that year they lost, went 6-7. They lost in the bowl game as well to South Florida. Now coming into that 2011 season is where you now starting to see Dabo's getting those players. He's getting Martavis Bryant. He's getting Vic Beasley, which came in as an athlete 3-star player. He's starting to get those DeAndre Hopkins of the world to come in at this point. And stepping into that 2011 season, people didn't know what to expect after going 6-7 the year before. Dabo took that team 10-4 that year. Very talented team that year. 10-4, but then in the bowl game, that's the West Virginia manslaughter is what I call it. That's when they got blowed out 70-33. And that was kind of, I think, one of the best things that happened to the Clemson program is how they got blowed out. 70-3. I think that was a big vital part of them being better. So coming into that 2012 season, they're starting to gain the recruits they need now. They have the Sammy Watkins of the world. They have the Grady Jarretts of the world. And they made a tremendous difference immediately, especially Sammy Watkins. Coming into that season, they went 11-2, playing against LSU in the Chick-fil-A Bowl and going into a complete barn burner against LSU in a 24-23 game. And that's when you seen Nuke Hopkins that season came alive. Sammy Watkins kind of stepping in stride of what needed to be done. That was a key point for them because that was Sammy Watkins' sophomore year. So he was starting to step into his own feet. And then Nuke Hopkins was obviously doing his thing. Martavis Bryant was starting to gain an important role in what they do at Clemson. So stepping into that 2013 year was very vital. I think at that time Clemson came in as the number 5 team in the country. Tajh Boyd was stepping into his senior year. Sammy Watkins was stepping into his junior year. A lot of good things were going on. Sharon Peak was starting to gain a very important role with the Clemson Tigers. And it was very important for them that year to be good. I mean, they had to get almost to the championship or close to it. And in that year, they did end up going 11-2, and they played Ohio State in the Orange Bowl, and they beat them. They won an ACC championship that year, and that team was just very talented. And that class of 13, I just want to go over their recruiting class because that class is so vital to what they are now. That 13 class is what set Clemson. When you have players like Ben Boulware, Shaq Lawson, Jerron Pierce, Mike Williams, Wayne Golliman, Brian Carter, Dorian O'Daniels, and so much more, Mac Alexander, Jordan Leggett, those guys are kind of what set the program at Clemson to be what they are now. So that 13 recruiting class, I want you to remember throughout this video. Now, when they stepped into that 2014, after going 11-2, there were high expectations, and there was a high expectation for a freshman quarterback coming in by the name of Deshaun Watson. Freshman true talent out of Gainesville, Georgia, right outside of Atlanta. And that guy was ready to step in and play. He split time the first game with starting quarterback, senior Cole Stout. And, they battled through the positions, and about 4 weeks in, Dabo went on ahead and handed Deshaun Watson the starting keys because he deserved it. And that year, he only lost one game as a starter. And the one game that he did lose, he actually tore his ACL in that game, so he didn't play. He played the first couple series, and he tore his ACL, and he was done. In that year, they went 10-3. Now, Dabo did not know what he was building, but what he was building at Clemson was a family-oriented, well-talented program. And he set that goal in 2008. And when we step into the 15th season, a lot of people were saying, oh, wow, Deshaun Watson is going to take that next step. And guess what? He did. That year, they went 14-0 that year. They went 14-0 that year, didn't lose a game. And Deshaun Watson really made a difference in that season. That was his sophomore year. They lost to Alabama in the national championship in a barn burner, a 40-point game against, a lot of people argue still to this day, one of the best defenses of all time. So coming into that 2015 year, a lot of people didn't know what to expect. But to get a 14-win season, Dabo set the tone, and he set an expectation at that point. In 16, where a lot of those players are coming back, Deion Kane was back from his suspension. 2016 was a big year. Clemson was expected to have a big season. They were expected to make a lot of plays, and that's the year where the defensive line that you now know is being named one of the best defensive lines of all time was kind of established. In that year, they got Austin Bryant, Christian Wilkins, Clelin Ferrell. So now we're starting to talk about one of the best D-lines being put together in their early recruiting ages. Now in 2016, after coming off that 14-year win, they had another 14-year win, and they took one loss to Pittsburgh in the middle of the year, and that might have been the best thing to ever happen to them. Now in 2015, they went on and beat Alabama in the national championship. So Dabo going back against his old school and winning that national championship was a huge deal. Huge deal for him. And Dabo, recruited well. So when Deshaun left, another player stepped up by the name of Kelly Bryant. Kelly Bryant stepped up. Wayne Golliman left. Tavion Feaster stepped up. Mike Williams left. Deion Kane stepped up. Ray McLeod stepped up after Artavis Scott left. So now you're seeing how Dabo's recruiting that I talked about earlier played a huge role in these national championship, games and titles. It played a big role in that. So now we're stepping into this 2017 season. A lot of people thought Dabo, losing Deshaun Watson, they were going to be a downfall. They weren't going to be as good. They weren't going to be as great as they've been these past few years. But Kelly Bryant and company had other to say about that. Clemson went 12-2 that year and made it to the college football playoffs that year. Losing to Alabama, I think Alabama was kind of coming off in a revenge game, and they beat them 24-6. Now stepping into the season that we're about to step into now, Clemson has recruited very well by picking up Trevor Lawrence, Justin Ross, and others, Xavier Thomas, KJ Henry, and others. And now they're stepping into the season, kind of going through what he went through his 2014 season with Kelly Bryant and Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is kind of that Deshaun Watson, and a lot of people see that it factor in him. And Dabo has built this program to a unique style and a unique perfection. And I honestly do believe Dabo is one of the best coaches in college football. And he has built that program to another extreme. Now they're on the same level basically as in Alabama. What do you guys think about Deshaun and how Dabo has built this program? I'm out.